Hi, I'm going to talk to you now about using the wheel, and that starts with centering. Um, I've got my wheel head clean. It's damp, but not wet. I could even maybe just take a little bit of that wetness off the center. Got my balls of clay that we wedged up. I can see the center of the wheel here, and I'm going to gently but firmly place the ball of clay right in the center. And the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure it's attached. Now the wheel is spinning because I've put some pressure on the pedal. You don't have to use your foot. You can have the pedal up here and just push it with your hands. Oftentimes beginners get a little carried away with speed, and as some people say, speed kills. So the tools that you'll need just for the centering exercises is just your sponge and your cutoff wire. So a little sponge, cutoff wire, and of course, your friend the big sponge. This bucket of water right here, full. This is very important to keep water between, layer of water between your hands, which are the sort of forming agents, and the clay. So my knees, I want to scoot up and have my knees at the clock face 9 and 3, so I can sort of center myself right over the center of the clay. First thing I want to do is make sure that the ball of clay is attached to the wheel. And what I'm going to do is grab my use my right hand, the fist of my right hand, and just put some pressure on it. See how I'm grabbing it with my other hand? I'm slowing things down a little bit just to sort of tell you what I'm doing. We have a limited amount of time to work with the clay before we tire it out with water, so we want to don't want to dilly-dally too much. All right, so I got it. I feel comfortable that it's stuck on there. I'm going to press down. I'm going to use these sort of parts of my hand here, these little sort of L's or shoulders, to just press the clay down. Now, the reason that I want you to start out throwing, I mentioned I throw standing up, but I want you to start by sitting, because you can really brace your arms against your body, and that's going to make them a lot stronger. I see people out here sort of their elbows not locked into their body and their hands are moving all over. That's not going to give you as much control as if I can lock this elbow. So this is my left arm, and I'm locking my elbow against my hip bone. I'm now going to take a wet hand and press this, using this L of a hand, I'm going to press this clay in. Now my hand would be here, but I'm leaving it away so you can see. But really the move would be to push in and have the other hand here, the right hand, is out here to catch it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cone it up. So I pressed in with my left hand, I'm coming in with my right hand, and there's a little indentation here. And I'm going to pull that up, and as I pull up, it's going to gradually decrease in diameter. And that's going to give me smaller amount of clay there in that cone and allow me, you can see that little wobble or twist there. We're going to cone that up and get that out of there. So with a smaller amount of clay at the top, it's going to be easier for me to put that on center. I can knock it off center, and this is the first thing I want you to practice with, is just coning it up and putting it back on center. So I am guiding it here with my left hand. I'm going to press down now, making this L with my, whatever that is, the palm of my hand, and push down and receive it here. Coning it up again, and this time not quite so far. And notice how if my hands start to drag, I'm going to reach out and grab a little water. So this time the cone is a little smaller. And now I'm going to come back in, and again, making that little shoulder. I'm pushing down in the center and receiving it with my left hand. And what's critical here is that when I receive it, I gently release. And this little dome, this little thing, is where we're going to get started with. So that's what we're going to practice over and over again in the beginning. Is just centering. So coning it up, just making that little indentation there, and bringing it up, and pushing it back down. And I don't do that more than twice, because every time I'm doing that, I'm putting water in the clay, and I'm lessening its life. But I do want to make sure that it's on center. So if it seems like it's still wobbling for you, just cone it up one more time, push it back down on center, and always gently release. It's important to remember to breathe through this, and certainly when you're releasing and leaving it on center. So many times I see people suddenly release and throw it off center, everything they've worked for. Okay, so from this comes everything. A centered ball of clay is what you begin with. And I'll rinse my hands off here and wipe them off on my towel. and stop the video, and we'll go on to the next thing.